insurance done pretty good. I got it all in place.
Oh, yeah.
We come to order here, Public Works, Committee meeting at this time. Could we, Dan, could you?
Father, Father, we want to thank you for bringing us all together. Ask you to continue watching us as we make the right decisions for the parish today. We love you and we ask you to continue watching us as we travel back to our place today. In your name, pray, amen.
We got approval of agenda, could I get a
So moved. Second.
nays? Moved. Public comments at this time on the agenda items? Can I get a motion? I will need a motion. New business, consider and take action if necessary, setting speed limits on Rogers Road at 45 miles per hour. You want to elaborate on that?
I'm gonna turn that over to Kevin.
So Rogers Road did our traffic study on it. Rogers Road is not highly, it doesn't have a lot of houses on it. And so when we did it, there was 3 different sections that we did. We did north of the railroad tracks, we did between Fraser and Hannah, and then southward Fraser. And all 3 of them, the 85th percentile, which is what we typically do, and what is recommended by the state or the federal side of things, is we use the 85th percentile. 85th percentile was right around 45 miles an hour. So that's our recommendation, is to go with 45 miles an hour for the speed limit on Rogers Road. We've had a lot of complaints because since we restruck the road and it's brand new road, people like it a lot as a cut through, so they're going a little fast.
Tell them it always registers the highest and lowest speed, please. What's the highest on that road?
The highest
During that
one was
time?
around 90.
What day was that?
Had to be out there right.
What did you do? What day, yeah, 89.7, I think was the top speed on one of those. So there's,
Sorry.
but 85% of people went around like 45, 46 miles an hour, so.
That was the lowest,
The
That's
lowest,
average
Yeah.
45.
there's people that crawl down that road, but some of them.
The rationale is that's the speed that most people feel safe driving.
That's fine.
Majority, so that-
I'll make that motion that we change to 45.
I'll second it.
Second, move. Any nays? Okay, next one is consider and take action necessary to set the speed limit on Ralph Road at 45 miles per hour.
Okay, we have Rab Road, in our capital improvement program for bridge replacement. So it's kind of a unique situation. It's in a bottom. There is a gas well access right there at the bridge. You can see there's the bridge, and then this little road here is the gas well access. So DOTD has what they call design standards for bridges that, we have to comply with in order to stay in the off-system program. And so, with an unposted, speed limit on that road, it's 55 miles an hour, which is the national speed limit. But the exception that we're gonna have to make, the guardrails will be extended, but here where the access road is, so we don't have to get in, deal with the core or anything like that. What DOTD is recommending is that the guardrail will actually come and then turn in here, for, I'm not sure exactly how far. But, they have what they call a design speed for that bridge design that we have to comply with for it to be approved, and it's 45 miles an hour. So that's why we're recommending that the speed limit be posted on that road at 45. So,
Just for the whole road, probably.
yeah, it makes sense to do the whole road, I mean,
But
cause
they-
it's
because-
smack dab in the middle.
Yeah, you don't wanna go on.
You don't wanna have,
Right.
approaches, just,
It's just different signs that we have to put up.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
It's more maintenance and everything else.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion.
Second.
okay. Any nays? So move. All right. Item 3, authorize advertisement bids of 2025 hot mix overlay.
Okay, this is pretty standard. We have what you approved last fall as far as the hot mix overlay projects. We're gonna do the Fraser Road, Cedar Creek to 33. Bell Point subdivision, we're assisting, City of Grambling with College Drive, a portion of College Drive. And we're assisting the, village of Simsboro with a section of Braswell Lane. So we're working on, for our engineers, working on getting all the design specs done. We're going to, need to advertise for bids, obviously, and so that's why we need to go ahead and get that done.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
So moved, Dan and A's. Next item, authorize advertise for bid, to maintain hot mix 6 months.
This is a standard item that we do every 6 months. This is our maintenance hot mix that we use to do a lot of pothole patching. We also use cold mix, but that's a different vendor. We get that down in Alexandria, I think, down in Algeria. Cold mix
Yes.
or Bastrop?
That'll go down to.
Alexander, that's what I thought. But the maintenance hot mix that we get, we get here locally. But we bid it for 6 months at a time. I'm gonna look at changing that next year because we really, the bid threshold has gone up so much over the years that, we don't, I think it's what, 60 now? We don't buy 60,000 in a year worth of maintenance hot mix. But, in order to get us through the rest of this year, you know, we need to go ahead and get permission to advertise for the next 6 months.
Okay.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, next item 6 is bid awarded surplus property.
No, we need
Missed
the,
the bridge.
yeah, the railroad bid,
Fine.
bridge
Sorry,
replacement,
sorry.
yeah. So, that's what we were just talking about, you saw the picture there, you know, went ahead and set the design speed limit for that road. And, we just need to get the authorization to advertise for bids. So, Hunter, you kinda wanna give us, we were talking earlier, and you said it may be 4 months, you know, before we can actually get to bidding this out, is that?
Right, we've got to send plans, once plans are developed to a certain level of completion, we have to send them to the Corps of Engineers for approval, for, make sure there's no environmental issue. And that drags on for lots of months. I'm estimating 4 months, but I could be.
So we're just trying to go ahead and knock out the, authorized advertisement for that road.
Can I get a motion? on
Mr.
that?
Chairman, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Is that because of the size of the creek? Do we have to do that on every bridge, or is that just because of the size of that Culver Creek or whatever?
No, it's every bridge.
Every single bridge?
This one is really, I mean, it's
It's pretty good model.
a pretty good bottom, and then that gas well access road, there's a big beaver pond right there.
You don't see it there, all that's being.
I mean, it's a big, what I would call a wetland. And if we wanted to get an exemption, that's another reason, you know, we wanted to lower the speed limit and go with a design exception. Because there's no telling how much, wetland we'd have to mitigate to build a standard bridge out.
Okay. Can I get a motion on that? please?
Already done.
I already did, right, okay. Item 6, bid award surplus property.
Okay, you had a list in your packet of the results, and I'm gonna let our purchasing officer, Gary Webb, go over that.
I just recommend that we, give the bids to the highest bidder, except for the 2 items, and then we will reject those because they did not meet minimum bid.
Tell them which items those were.
Number 18 and number 19. So we will reject those 2.
We're gonna reject 18 and 19?
And then we will award to the highest bidder on all the other ones.
Okay. 18.
What happens when we reject them? I mean, we still actually be in our possession, but we do this again or what?
They have to at least meet the minimum bid,
Right,
and they didn't, they bid below the min.
and so we'll put it back up for bid again at some point in time, probably?
We will.
Okay. Surplus property. Okay,
We
next.
need to take action on that, we need a motion,
Can I
second.
get a motion on that?
So moved.
Second.
Any nays? Okay, we're at 7, 9A to other agencies. Legal Parish, School Board, Grambling and Cleaning and Shooting Elementary.
Okay, we were approached by the school board here, several weeks ago about, Shooter Elementary School. You know, we built them a road, I don't know if you can bring that up or not, Kevin. Probably about 4 or 5 years ago, it comes off 80 and comes in, you know, on the west side of the school. And between, that road and the playground, there's a pretty large wooded lot, I don't know, maybe 4 acres, something like that. But they're, you know, they're looking at potentially utilizing that for additional parking at some point. So they, came to us and asked us if that was in our wheelhouse, so we went out there with, our highway people and kinda looked at it and walked it over. Yeah, that's it right there.
This is the road right here.
Yeah, there's a couple of, you know, small creeks that run through there. But anyway, it's something that we can do. They're not in any rush to get it done, which makes it really, really nice. This is something we can work on if we move along. And,
Would be done this summer then, likely?
yeah, I think so. It'd be a latter part of the summer. I mean, I'd like to get it done before school starts.
Right.
So that's the first request. I think we can handle all these at one time.
Okay, City of Russell Cross Drainage Replacement.
Yeah, the city of Ruston approached us about a project that they have where there's a, some drainage, what's the name of that street, Kevin?
Do we have to take action on number 7?
We can do them all together, yeah.
I forgot the name of the street, I'll tell you this.
Anyway, it's off the north part of Monroe Street. There's a big ditch that goes through there. There's a church and it's Mount Zion. Mount Zion. Anyway, it goes under that parking lot and then it goes on down to, another ditch. And so,
That's Lee Street.
huh?
I think that's Lee Street.
Right.
Lee Avenue.
So it kinda runs, you know, from the upper right to the lower left across that parking lot. And,
There's a cross drain, this goes through straight
it's a
through.
really large cross drain that has, really, it's eroded and collapsed.
You can't see it, but it's right.
So, they're asking us, you know, our assistance in installing a new one. So they're gonna provide the pipe, we'll just provide the equipment and the labor. They'll get all the easements that we need in order to access the property, the temporary servitudes. You know, and this is something that, you know, it is authorized, even though it runs across private property. You know, the drainage originates, right, like I said, up there in the right-hand corner, carries it off Monroe Street. When they did all that construction and fixed all that, it kind of,
Goes through here, and then there's a creek that runs basically right through here. Right, you see where these woods are, runs through the creek, and it runs straight through. You can see there's a bridge right here,
lot of water, lot of water.
quite a bit of water that runs through
So
there.
it's gonna be about 200 feet of what, 36 inch,
Yes.
something like that?
36.
So, once they get everything in lined out, and
It goes across that parking lot.
it does, and
Who's gonna repair the parking lot when it's,
we are, or we'll
I
fill
mean,
it in.
fill it in with asphalt or dirt, or, I mean, once I know dirt, obviously, but what's gonna go on top
Yeah,
of that?
we'll put the culvert in, and we'll, you know, fill it back in with where it's eroded and everything.
But we'll put it
With fill
back
dirt.
in place with asphalt for the.
Fill dirt and possibly rock, but I think City of Russ will do the rest.
Yeah,
Okay.
then we'll put some rock in there.
And the last one is City of Grambling ditching.
Right, and we had a letter from the mayor of Grambling, it's pretty standard. They had several addresses on there where they, you know, wanted to get some assistance with cleaning out ditches. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Second.
Any nays? So moved. Public comments? Yes, ma'am.
What is the status of the opening of the Lone Star Road?
There was a capital outlay application that was put in, and I haven't heard anything about whether or not that's been awarded. They're still in session right now, down in Baton Rouge at the legislature. So we're waiting to hear on that.
Any other comment, public comment?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
guess we can get started a few seconds early. Today, I want to welcome each of you to our regular scheduled police jury meeting on this June the 10th, 2025, prior to our invocation and pledge of allegiance. I would like to recognize Mayor Bradley from the city of Granite, his lovely wife that is with him tonight. Thank you all for being here. And Amanda Simmons, do you have someone there with you that you need to?
Yes,
would
sir,
like
I
to
do. This
introduce?
is Miss Jeannie Stankovic. We were with LSU Ag Center, and she is our new parish chairperson for LSU Ag Center, Lincoln Parish.
Good. Well, we welcome you tonight. Thank you. And the cake comes, well, I didn't know you already, I've already sampled it. It's really good, so. I may get another piece before later, you know, doggy bag type of thing. But anyway, thank y'all, for that. And also I wanna mention, Mr. Joe Henderson, is not able to be with us here tonight. Joe continues to struggle with his health, and we want to continue to remember him. And Diane has had neck surgery recently, and she is not able to be with us tonight, but that's the reason that they can't hear. Health reasons prevented those from being here, so we want them to think about them tonight during our meeting. So Matt, if you'll lead us on our invocation and pledge of allegiance, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you this day. Thank you for all the many blessings that you given us. We ask you tonight to please put your hand of healing on Mr. Joe and Miss Diane as they go through these times. We ask that you place your hand on our hearts and our minds as we make decisions for this community. In your name I pray. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do I have a motion for the approval of the agenda?
So moved.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Are there any public comments on agenda items at this time? Okay, we'll proceed on. We need a motion for the minutes of our prior meeting, which was held on May the 13th.
If there, Mr. President, if there are no changes, I make that motion.
Second. Motion made and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now we'll proceed on to committee reports. We have one committee that met at this afternoon, so Mr. Big Coach Williams, if you'll give us a report, please, on public works.
Mr. President, we had, everybody was here except for Ms. Richards. We just mentioned that she had an operation, she wasn't there. Call to order invocation, and also now we're down to our new business, which, the first thing is consider take action necessary to set the speed limits on Roger Road for 45 miles per hour, which that's indicated on the traffic study was most consistent. So that's why we got that set at 45 miles per hour. Out of committee, we approved that, okay? The second item is, take action necessary to set the speed limit on Rab Road at 45. We also got a bridge replacement on Rab Road, and the traffic study also indicated we do it at 45. Third item, authorize advertise a bid on 2025 hot mix overlay. So we got several projects we got in this parish that we gotta do, so we need that extra overlay material. And also advertise for bids, maintain hot mix for the next 6 months. We feel like this could take us out for the rest of the year. And the fifth item is authorize bids for Rab Road bridge replacement. That's on Rab Road, but we're gonna replace the entire bridge on that road. So we in the process of working on that. And then we got a surplus property. Okay, so we're gonna award to the highest bidder. I think we just had two. We had two of them rejected because it was the lowest bid. So we disregard that. The next thing is A to other agendas. Lincoln Parish School Board grooming and clearing of Shooting Elementary area to give them more parking. Probably gonna get that done before the summer is over with. And the next thing is City of Ruston cross drain replacement. Just try to cut down on some of the flooding that's going on, but it's rained quite a bit. And the last item, we have some ditching at Grambling that the committee came out to approve that we're gonna get some ditching work done that also help the drain in Grambling. So that was the committee meeting
include the rural areas around town as well?
Yeah.
Is it in the parish?
It includes, rural roads, yeah.
The rural roads, that's what I'm
Yeah, but
concerned
we've,
about.
we've already, last fall, they selected certain roads that they wanna work on for
Well,
this
they
year.
didn't get to it. I mean, for us, we, out there on 544.
Okay, well, 544 is a state road, we don't work on state roads, so.
Well, my point of matter for me personally is the hot overlay on my property, on the parish road.
Okay.
Which road is that?
That's Parish Road 242, Skinner Road, which y'all have as a, one thing that y'all want to do is.
We'll address that, sir, but that's coming up. We'll address that at the proper time.
Yeah, but I wanted to make that point.
Okay, any other comment? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any nays? There are none, it passes unanimously. So, at this point in time, we will, move into a public hearing. So we have to have a motion and
Yes, we properly advertised, 10 days before this meeting, to have a public hearing tonight to receive comments or objections on the proposed abandonment for public use and revocation of right-of-way servitudes for Halsted, Lester Skinner, and Grover Roads in Lincoln Parish. And so we need to go ahead and open the public hearing for that purpose.
Okay.
I'll make that motion, Mr. President.
Okay, motion made and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so now we are in open public hearing. And it is for the purpose of, hearing, as our administrator had just read off some roads, that would no longer be or possibility of no longer being a parish road. And so, looking at Halsted Road, Grover Road, Lester Road, and Skinner Road.
I would ask.
And we'll go in order. It's what we will do. Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of Halsted Road?
She called me this afternoon and said she would not be able to make the meeting, but she still stands by her position. She's requesting us
To abandon it.
to abandon it.
Okay.
It's a road on her own property, and she doesn't
Right.
like people coming down the road and sitting basically on her property at the end of the road. She wants to put up a gate. So she's requesting, the property owner is actually requesting us to abandon the road.
Okay. Next is Grover Road. Anyone here to speak on behalf of Grover Road? We will proceed on Lester Road. No one here to speak on behalf of that, in favor or against. So now.
I did receive a call from Mr. Bullock regarding Grover Road. He's the landowner right there. He wasn't excited about it, but he understood the position
Okay.
he understood, what we were doing and why we were proposing.
Right, okay. So, is there anyone that would like to make comment on, Skinner Road?
Yes, I'm gonna let my mother speak first.
Okay, ma'am?
Okay, I am Joyce Skinner Brazil, so I have direct interest in Skinner Road. I'd like to, oppose it being, abandoned. That road has been, there since, about forties, late forties, and it was, and I do appreciate that road, cause I used to have to go barefooted to get to the highway, so I could catch the bus. So initially, the school, the road was, dedicated so we could, go to school, the postmaster, school busman could pick us up at the road. We have owned that piece of property at the end of Skinner Road since, the late thirties, and have used that road since the late thirties. Recently, in the last 10 years or so, I've used that road 3 or 4 times with the ambulance to come help me out.
Save their life, I'm gonna tell and take.
And Ken lives around the corner from him, and because of his help, we use that. So I request that you seriously think about that, because that road is very important. Had we road up personally, and, we have always been very good tenants of that road. We've always paid our taxes, been there since, we've been on that property since 1929. And I would certainly request that you consider leaving it as is. And, because it's needed more now at this time than any time that we've had it before, even when I was going barefooted to get to the school.
What we'll do, ma'am, actually, this is the public hearing part of it. The action will take place, and once we come out of the, public hearing aspect of this, and we'll take each one of these, and either vote on it or take some other kind of action on this when we get to that. Thank you, for your comment, and we'll take that under advisement.
I wanna make a comment as well on this, addendum. There's a creek between the road and the house. Now, we have one culvert that is 6 feet, 5 feet wide, maybe 5 or 6, around. So, it is starting to crack, fall apart. That will be an issue eventually, probably in the next 10 years. But my point, all of this is leading to the fact, if we don't have any ingress or egress, my mother's dead. If we don't have any egress or ingress, I'm dead. Because those roads, my road and her road, has to go over that creek bridge. And it has to get up to the road. It has to get up to the blacktop. If we don't have the egress or ingress, we can't do anything. Now, that alone, I think, is a solid reason to consider saving it and keeping it as is, and keeping it up, which we've had to do, which we've had to ask for. We don't mind asking. We just would like some help. Okay? We're an old family. We've been here. We ain't going nowhere. We're paying our taxes, and let us live part of the community, feel part of the community, and help us out.
Thank you, sir. So that, are the 4 roads that we, is under advisement. So at this point in time, we will, hear a motion to close our public
So
hearing.
moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. And any opposed? There are none. So now we'll move into, we'll take each one of these individually and take action on them. The first one is, providing, resolution providing for the abandonment of Halstead Road.
I'll make that motion.
Okay?
Second.
Motion made and second to abandon Halstead Road. Any question? All in favor say aye. Aye. Number 7, providing for the abandonment of Grover Road.
Make that motion.
Motion is made, seconded by Karen. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
You,
Opposed.
okay, okay. Providing for the abandonment of Lester Road.
Make that motion.
Motion is made
Second.
and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There is none. Item number 9, providing for the abandonment of Skinner Road. Any recommendations?
Recommend we move it.
Go ahead, TJ, you had your hand up.
Well, I was just gonna say that, I was not making a motion yet, but I think we should, not abandon that road, leave it the same, consider it later, do something, not mess with Skinner Road at this time.
That would be,
We need a motion to table then if you
I
want.
make a motion to table it.
Second.
all right, motion made to table that. We'll take it and
Second.
second it. Okay? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay. So that item is.
Thank you. Thank you.
number 10, setting 45 miles per hour speed limit on Rogers Road.
Second.
Heard the explanation, we've got a motion, we've got a second. Any questions on this? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Item number 11, setting 45 miles per hour speed limit on Round Road.
Motion.
Motion's made, we have a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There is none. Moving to new business on item number 12, Lincoln Parish Sales and Use Tax Commission 2025-26 proposed budget. Ms. Denise Griggs, Administrator.
Good evening, jurors. Tonight, I'm here as the Sales and Use Tax Administrator for Lincoln Parish, requesting approval of the 2025-2026 portion, policetry portion of the sales and use tax budget for that year. The estimated budget for that year, or for 25-26, is $437,116. That's a decrease of $1,633 over current year budget. The policetry's estimated percentage of those expenses is 13.12%. After receipts from Union Parish of approximately $200,000, the budget would be $237,116 for the year. Estimated policetry expense for the year is $31,119 of my operating budget. And I will be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
I make the motion that we approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second, and now we'll entertain any questions we may have for Ms. Griggs. Anyone?
Budget decrease is impressive. Thank you.
We try.
Denise, you and your staff do a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, all in favor of accepting this, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There is none, and it passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Griggs. Item 13, authorized purchase of property at 203 South Vienna Street, the amount of $265,000, and authorize administrator to execute any documents or take any actions related thereto.
Okay, you remember, I think it was last month that you authorized me to get an appraisal on the property over here, which I did. And it just so happens that it appraised for what the contract was calling for, $265,000. And so, in order to buy property as a governmental entity, we have to get that appraisal out of the way. There's no value that needs to be added to that because of the equalness of the appraisal and what the initial offer was. So, we just need to go ahead and authorize that purchase and
Is that the
authorize
one
me.
in the corner of the?
Yeah.
Right here next to the parking lot?
Yes, sir, that's it. And we also, the contract will include an option to buy that property just to the north of it too at some point if that becomes available.
That's good.
Second.
Got a motion made and a second. Any questions?
Doesn't have any renters, does it?
There was,
Well, when we take possession, will it have any renters?
no, we won't have any renters. I'm sure they
I don't
were
want to be
advised.
like the
Yeah.
county market.
But there was somebody in there. No, we're
Right.
not doing that.
Yeah.
Any other comments, questions?
Yeah. Uh-oh. Got it.
May I ask what the building's gonna be used for?
We haven't decided that yet. We have a long-term facilities, planning meeting tomorrow, in fact, so that may, come up as part of that, but, it's something that we'll decide pretty quick.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There is none, and it passes unanimously. Item 14, official journal selection. We have to do this like once a year, so.
Yeah,
Administrator,
we're
you can come in.
required by state law to pick an official journal. The Ruston Daily Leader is our official journal. The proposal that they submitted, it's really like the state fiscal year from June to June. There's no change. It's the same amount per square, which is $6. And all other terms are the same. Would recommend that we accept their proposal as the official journal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All minds clear on this? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none. So at this point in time, I'd like to call on our treasurer, Mr. Michael Sutton, to give a treasury report.
Thank you, Mr. President. You have in front of you the budget to actual report for our major funds for the month, through the month of May. Only two items I'm gonna point out are, page 2, line 45 in the general fund, the corner out of parish certificates. We've addressed this before. This line is a little bit out of whack to this point in the year. As a reminder, these are emergency certificates issued by a parish corner out of parish for a Lincoln Parish resident in that corresponding parish. I'm not too concerned about this at this time though, because it does fluctuate. We may have no activity next month, so it may kind of even out. We'll just keep an eye on it as we move forward. Next, page 6, line 156, solid waste disposal fund. The utilities line is a little bit high, but the only reason that is because we've obviously, the air burner is now under our control, and this is a new endeavor for us, and so there's really no predicting what kind of activity that would bring, so that's just a matter of monitoring. We'll adjust it as the year progresses. And the last thing I want to mention is sales tax collected for prior month was $788,729.46. That's 788,729.46 versus 709,448.48, which is about a little over 11% increase. So we're continuing to see higher receipts there. Good news. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you very much for that. That was a report, so no action is necessary on that, but we will entertain, any juror have a question for our treasurer on this. All minds clear on that? Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Sutton. Other business and reports. Mr. Administrator?
You got anything? All right, Kevin?
All right, so for the highway department, Tom was unable to be here, but basically we have a little bit of a maintenance issue with our wobble wheel.
Tell them what a wobble wheel is.
Yeah, a wobble wheel is basically a machine that goes down and packs the dirt after we're recycling. So when we recycle the dough, it packs it down, make sure it's firm, and so we can let it set in before we come back and do the rest of our chip seal. So we've chip sealed some roads, we've not chip sealed some roads. We've done recycling of some roads. We have not finished the whole list of recycling. We've done, I have a list right here: Forsyth, Oak Tree, Gray, Bradford, Campbell, Crocker, and Edwards, but we still have a few more to go. But we cannot set up the road on those particular roads because of the wobble wheel. So we're going to, we're looking. We haven't found one yet. We have a hook on one, but we're not sure that we're going to be able to lease it out. So what we're going to do is, if we cannot find one, starting next week, because we have rain the rest this week, we're going to start with our chip seal program. We normally only switch once. We go from recycle, we finish our whole recycle program, then we go to chip seal. So we don't have to keep switching back and forth. It's more efficient. Because of this issue, until it's fixed, we're going to switch. And we're going to start our reseal program, which is the chip seal program. So once we get it fixed, we'll switch back.
You may get questions as to why. I mean, it's a little out of the ordinary, but
it's a little out of the ordinary.
When you recycle the road, like he said, they come in and they pack it with that wobble wheel, and then they come in and put what's called prime oil.
Correct.
And that's before they can chip seal it.
Correct.
Okay, so since we can't get the wobble wheel, we're gonna keep rocking and rolling, and there are some roads we did not have to recycle, and we're gonna knock those out. And so you're gonna have sections of others that are gonna stay dirt for a while.
So normally they stay dirt for so long, that might be a little bit longer. So if you know some dirt patches throughout some roads in your district, it might be a little bit longer within the summer until we get this thing prepared before they can actually get the extra prime oil and chip seal. So just bear with us. It might be a little bit slower. If the weather works with us, we'll catch up. But
As long as it get done.
yeah,
How's the grass cutting coming?
it's going.
Okay.
As
Good.
I mean,
Yep.
we're doing what we can with the crews that we have.
Yep.
So
Right. Good.
Yeah, we're still having issues.
getting people.
Well, it's mainly a labor issue.
Right.
And so we've had to, we had two crews. We had one would start going counterclockwise, one clockwise, they'd meet in the middle and go back the other way. We've had to combine them, so we're down to one crew again, but they're setting a good pace.
It seems to me that it's better this year. than
Well,
last
there's,
year.
like I said, we have somebody a really good person, I think, that's, in charge of the crews.
Yeah.
and he's pushing hard. And
I've noticed more this year.
Yeah, and I think they said they're already halfway around, which surprised the heck out of me when they
Right.
told me that, because that's unusual.
It was in the July before they came over
Yeah.
in our district.
And sometimes it's weather, sometimes it's,
Yeah. But
Yeah, we're doing
it's rocking. You got anything?
Yeah, a little bit. So the first thing we'll start with is we've wrote about a dozen litter tickets in the past month. So we've hit people in almost every district. So we're hopefully gonna slow that down a little bit. And that just hopefully makes it to where our dumpsters stay cleaner a little bit longer. That's what we're working towards. And then as far as the dogs and cats go, we brought 27 dogs to the shelter last month, 16 cats. And we returned 15 dogs to their owner, which means 42 dogs were caught in total. And then we handled at least 20 head of cattle, 4 horses, 6 foxes, 10 pigs, and 10 snakes.
Don't forget the peacock.
Yeah, and I caught a peacock
Oh,
today.
my
so
gosh.
First one for that.
Okay.
So we'll be busy in July for tickets, so be ready for that one.
Got a question, you seen any of the bears, 'cause we have them,
The bears?
yeah?
I know there's bears in Lincoln Parish, but I don't really deal with them, but I work hand in hand with wildlife and fisheries. So I pretty much
I
know
was
where
just
they're at.
wondering, who to call if one comes in my backyard.
Wildlife fisheries.
Wildlife fisheries.
Let them handle it.
Maurice, you got anything to report?
Yeah, just, good evening. Contractors are moving along pretty good, laying that new force main, sewer force main. So we're down on, 3rd Street, 2nd Street right now. And they moving along pretty good. They're doing all the road boarding right now. And once that complete, they'll come back in and then start open cutting, tying everything back in. They had some trouble with the piece of that boarding equipment today that caused the job to shut down, but they should have it up and going tomorrow.
Good, thank you, Maurice.
What about the treatment facility?
Treatment facility is in, I would estimate it's about 95% complete. So they're basically just waiting, right now for the contractor to catch up.
Thanks.
James, you got anything? Jeremy from the library.
Yes,
All right.
First off, I just want to let you know it's summer reading season at the library. I told you all that last month, but we had our kickoff to the tune of almost 650 people came to the library for kickoff. And that was the Saturday before Memorial Day. So these people probably had other plans too, so they made sure to include us. We had a group come in called the Snake ID group. If you saw it in the paper, they took several pictures. I'm so glad I wasn't there. I would've- No, they're not for me. I would have been calling animals. And if you had time to go by on the way home, if that's not your way home, you can still swing by, we're not that far away. The new signs, the new
Yes.
digital LED signs are up,
Oh, yeah.
and we did, I figured out how to put a new graphic up there. It's brand new software, so it's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve, but now we can add animation to the graphics. So it's real cool, we're really excited about that, so it should bring some more people. We're gonna have to address these crepe myrtles on this side of the road though, because it sure does like to cover that sign up. And I just wanna give a shout out, thank you to Jerry and the litter crew for helping the Friends of the Library with their book sale. Without them, we would not be able to set up all those tables and bring out all those books. And that group supports the library with their financial, help with that sale, so thank you very much.
And Jerry was also very helpful, to the library with the acquisition of that sign.
Yes.
Those signs
Yes.
too, so
Good.
appreciate that.
Looks really good, Jeremy.
Great, good job, thank y'all.
I think that's it.
I think that wraps up our comments or reports. So are there any public comments from anyone?
Well, I would like to personally thank Police Jury for the support that you've been giving the city of Grambling over the last few months with various projects throughout. And I can identify with the grass cutting. The way it's raining, it's just hard to keep up with.
It's hard to
But
find people.
I appreciate it,
Mhm.
and I think at one time you may have loaned us a tractor to kind of keep up. So
Right.
thanks for all the help that you all have, Coach and Karen Lundy and Ms. Richardson, those representatives in Grambling area. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Second? All in favor, say aye. We are adjourned.